But Google recently announced that they're going to acquire a company called Wiz. Now, for those who don't know, Wiz is a company that deals with the cybersecurity and cloud computing security, cloud security actually. Greetings, one and all, and welcome to the Marketing Matters podcast. Here we talk about marketing trends, technology, career advice, and anything you need to know about marketing. So I'm your host, Steven Atema, with my lovely co-host.
Vicky.
Welcome. So Vicky, let's get started with the news for the week. There has been a lot of um, commentary about this news item, and maybe some of our audiences would not be aware. But Google recently announced that they're going to acquire a company called Wiz. Now, for those who don't know, Wiz is a company that deals with the cybersecurity and cloud computing security, cloud security actually. So Google, it was announced, it's not yet closed, but Google plans to acquire this company for 32 billion USD. And this is not the first time Google has tried to acquire this company. They tried to acquire it last year for 23 billion. So it's quite interesting. 23, 32, they've just interchanged the words, the numbers. But when they tried to acquire it the first time, that company, the directors of that company turned it down, saying that, they felt that the pricing Google was giving them was an undervaluation, and they were going the IPO way. I think a few months down the line, they have realized the IPO scene is not as hot as people thought it was. And now Google has come back with a bigger offer, which is 32 billion. So, for purposes of context, one would wonder who is even Wiz, and why does Google want to acquire Wiz? Now, Wiz, like I've said earlier, is a cybersecurity firm that specializes in handling the cloud space. Now, Google is a big player in the cloud space. If you've been keen on your devices, for those of us who had Google accounts as soon as we joined campus, you've been receiving notifications that your storage is about to run out and you should start paying. I think the lowest tier is 250 shillings per month for you to continue enjoying those services. So I foresee in the next few years everything will move to cloud, and Google is a big player. Now we have other big players in this space. We have the Microsoft, through their Azure product. We have the Amazon through the AWS, one of the biggest players in this space. Actually, Amazon is the one which transformed the cloud space because of how innovative they do their business. And then we have another company called Oracle. Oracle, for the guys in tech space, Oracle is an OG. It's been there for for time immemorial, and they are also big in the cloud computing space. So Google acquiring Wiz is to just bolster their existing cloud business to add the security element. Everybody knows one of the biggest concern for people, big companies especially, who are trying to move to the cloud space, is the issue of security. A company like a bank would say, you see, if I have my records here physically, if I can just hire some serious security personnel and close my records in a vault, and I won't have to worry about hacking customer records, and you know how punitive regulators are when you breach customer confidentiality. So it is continuing to be a very tough, not even tough, it's continuing to be a very serious concern for a lot of companies that are going online. And even people who are, you might have also noticed that there's a lot of fanfare about people joining the cybersecurity career track, because when things go online, those skill sets will also be quite necessary for companies that are there. So in summary, Google is acquiring a company called Wiz. It has not yet closed, but it is likely going to go through, especially since the board does not seem to have a reservation about that price, and also with the new administration that is pro businesses doing mergers and acquisition. I foresee it in the next few months closing. I don't know if Vicky, you have any thoughts about this new acquisition by Google.
I think you've explained it well. Google, the security matters is now becoming very important for every business, because we are now taking every aspect of our businesses online. Therefore, Google, having been one of the large search engines that focuses on the website develop people who are uh, having websites, posting or having their websites on to be ranked on Google search and also YouTube, and having all those products that they are offering to almost every business, I would say, online, at least in one way or another, you are accessing the platform. Even if you're using social media, you use social media through those platforms. If you're scheduling content, you as much as you have an app that you can download on your phone or your laptop, but most of the time you'll get someone going to Google and then they search. So because of that, I think it's very essential for them to be able to focus on security, and having them merge with another company is also good, as we have only been looking at different news where we have different big companies merging with others to just acknowledge that this would be best if we get people who would do this best, and as we focus on what we're able to do, because there's so much changes in technology. So if you can get someone to or a company to be able to assist you in one area that is a major function, that is more important in your business to ensure that your clients are happy, I think it's a good thing. I'm just wondering how they must have had a good negotiation skills, because from 23 to 32, I mean, they must have shown, yeah, there is value in this, and you have to accept this, or because you see, if you've said you're going to go to the IPOA and then there's still negotiations going on, it means that Google saw that this is a very valuable asset for us to have. So to increase by 10, that is a very good negotiation. The person in the negotiation table is a good one.
Yeah, that's true. Though I'm not sure if I guess maybe Google sees more value in that space, probably because of what has happened last year. You remember we did an article about Microsoft's security provider or partner called CrowdStrike,
Mm,
when
yeah.
their systems were attacked, and there was a whole huge impact with a lot of Microsoft customers.
Mm,
Yeah. So the whole conversation about Wiz is supposed to be, in my view, Google trying to add some a value proposition to their customers. Like I've told you, AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure are the top two players in this space. Google largely serves AWS and Microsoft largely serve corporates
mm,
and government, especially AWS. They have a lot of contracts with government. Google serves corporate, but mostly corporates that are, I don't know how to term them, but the corporates that are in, I would say, tier 2 corporates, because most of the tier 1 corporates use my MS365 solutions. So when you have
mm,
MS365, it's very easy to integrate it with Azure. And Google, because of the other Google solutions, like their Google Business, Google the Gmail, and their meeting options, as well as their Drive and whatnot. They serve largely, they, I call them tier 2 and tier 3, but of course they also have some tier 1 customers. So
yeah.
in my view, it's going to be beneficial to them, for them to pay that amount, or them be willing to pay that amount, of course subject to regulatory approval. It's going to be interesting. But it made me wonder, could this be a new era in terms of companies being allowed to do mergers and acquisitions? I remember for the last 3-4 years, it has been a very tough regulatory market for tech companies that have been trying to acquire. One of the biggest and most known, maybe we can make it aware to our customers, acquisition that was barred by a regulator was the Microsoft acquisition of a company called Activision.
Mhm,
Now, Microsoft wanted to buy Activision, and again, Activision is a gaming company. And for those of you who know or have heard, Microsoft also has a gaming division, and it's through their Xbox solution. Xbox, for the young audiences in the group, they know Xbox is the biggest and main competitor of PS5, PlayStation. So PlayStation is owned by Sony. Xbox is owned by Microsoft. Now, the gaming world, or the gaming industry, has been ever growing since these two companies started. And acquisition by Microsoft of Activision was going to be a huge um, mod for them, because Activision is one of the biggest gaming companies. For those of you who play Candy Crush, it's actually developed by a company called King, which is a subsidiary of Activision. For those of you, there are several mobile games that you guys play that you don't know they are actually Activision's through their King, which is a mobile division. We also have, for those who play the computer games, we have a company called Warcraft. That is also it has a, I would say, it has a cultic following. Warcraft and a game called Call of Duty. Now these are if I'm not wrong, they are the top three games played by the young consumers between the ages of 12 and 16. So they have a very big market share, and this acquisition was going to bolster Xbox's of course dominance in that space. And then they're also going, Activision is also doing a lot of esports. For those of you who knows entertainment, sports, gaming is also very big. The biggest game is FIFA, which is done by EA Sports. So with this Activision's acquisition, they're going to come up with maybe more creative games. Formula One, they're going to come up with games for basketball and whatnot. So I would say it's going to be a huge. It was going to be a huge development. I'm not sure if they will allow them to come back with another bid with the changes in the governance in the UK and in the US, but time will tell. But as for now, the biggest news, or the deal on the table right now, is Google's acquisition of Wiz, and of course we shall keep you updated on whether this deal goes through and what this might mean for other competitors. AWS and Microsoft have their own in-house security solutions, but like I've told you, Microsoft also partners with CrowdStrike, but mostly for their cloud solutions, they have their own in-house solution. So you might also see several moves in that space, especially if it is confirmed that Wiz is actually helping Google acquire more market share. But yeah, that's it for us in terms of the news. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, if you have any contrary opinion, or if you have any other item that you might want us to cover, especially the news items that you felt maybe needed more explanation, please feel free to share it in our comment section, in our chats on our social media handles. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.